you haven't moved yet. Your alarm went off 11 minutes ago. Your spine is stiff. Your joints ache. Your brain feels wrapped in fog. And here is what you don't know. Inside your body right now, at this very second, something is waiting. It has been waiting every single morning. A biological system so ancient, so perfectly engineered, that it only fully activates when you do one specific thing. Not a supplement, not a surgery, not a prescription, a walk. Scientists have now mapped exactly what happens inside the human body, organ by organ, cell by cell, when a person begins walking daily. The changes are not gradual. Many begin within the first 7 minutes. What you are about to learn has been verified in peer-reviewed research, and it will change the way you see your own body forever. Every time you walk, your brain physically restructures itself. This is not metaphor. This is measurable neuroscience. The hippocampus, the region responsible for memory, spatial reasoning, and emotional regulation, increases in volume by up to 2% within 12 weeks of daily walking. Researchers at the University of British Columbia confirmed this with MRI scans, and subsequent studies have replicated the result consistently. The evolutionary reason is profound. Your brain evolved on a moving body. For 2 million years, thinking and walking happened simultaneously. Navigation required memory. Survival required both. The surprising twist? The brain does not just repair, it grows new neurons. A process called neurogenesis, once believed to stop in adulthood, continues in the hippocampus, specifically when the body is in motion. Your next walk is not exercise. It is neurosurgery you perform on yourself. The human heart is not a fixed pump. It is a living adaptive organ that reshapes itself in response to demand. When you walk daily, the left ventricle, the chamber responsible for pushing oxygenated blood to your entire body, gradually increases in stroke volume. It pumps more blood per beat while beating less frequently. This is called cardiac remodeling, and it is the same mechanism that gives elite athletes their famously low resting heart rates. Historically, our ancestors walked 8 to 12 miles per day just to survive. Hunting, migrating, foraging. The heart evolved for sustained low-intensity movement, not for sitting still. Here's the twist most people never hear. In sedentary individuals, the heart's arterial walls stiffen measurably within 72 hours of inactivity. Walking does not just strengthen the heart. It actively prevents it from hardening against you. Most people think immunity is something that happens to them. Scientists now know it is something you actively control. Walking at a moderate pace for 30 minutes mobilizes natural killer cells, your body's primary defense, against both viral infection and early-stage abnormal cell growth by up to 50% compared to sedentary baseline. The mechanism is elegant. Increased circulation forces lymphatic fluid through your lymph nodes at higher velocity, essentially flushing cellular debris and activating surveillance cells that would otherwise remain dormant. Evolutionary context makes this astonishing. The lymphatic system has no pump of its own. Unlike blood, lymph fluid moves almost exclusively through muscle contraction and body movement. Our immune systems literally evolved to require physical motion to function properly. The surprising twist? People who walk daily experience 60% fewer upper respiratory infections, not because they are healthier, but because they are moving. Cortisol is not your enemy. But in the modern world, most people's bodies have lost the ability to turn it off. This stress hormone, released by the adrenal glands in response to threat, was designed by evolution for short. Intense bursts, a predator, a flood, a physical confrontation, resolved, dissipated, gone. Today, millions of people exist in a state of chronic low-grade cortisol, elevation from psychological stress, poor sleep, and, critically, physical inactivity. Walking creates what researchers call the cortisol paradox. It temporarily raises cortisol during the walk itself, triggering the HPA axis. But the recovery phase that follows within 90 minutes, post-walk, produces cortisol levels measurably lower than pre-exercise baseline. The body essentially learns to regulate its own stress chemistry through movement. The twist: people who walk daily demonstrate blunted cortisol responses to psychological stressors, meaning walking. Physically changes how your brain experiences stress. Inside every cell in your body sit structures called telomeres, protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes that act like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Each time a cell divides, these caps shorten slightly. When they become too short, the cell can no longer replicate cleanly. This process is one of the primary biological mechanisms of aging. In 2017, a landmark study published in the European Heart Journal found that moderate endurance activity, including daily walking, significantly increased telomerase activity, the enzyme responsible for maintaining telomere length. Participants who exercised regularly showed telomere lengths equivalent to people 9 years younger than their chronological age. Evolutionary logic explains why. Our genome never developed a passive maintenance system for telomeres because stillness always meant death. Cellular longevity was always linked to movement. The twist: it was low intensity sustained. activity, like walking, not high-intensity exercise, that showed the strongest telomere preservation effect. Your gut contains more neurons than your spinal cord. It produces 90% of your body's serotonin. It communicates directly with your brain through the vagus nerve in a bidirectional conversation that science is only beginning to understand, and its composition, the specific bacteria, fungi, and archaea living inside you, changes measurably when you begin walking daily. A study from the University of Illinois found significant increases in beauty rate producing bacteria in active individuals compared to sedentary controls within 6 weeks. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that feeds the intestinal lining, reduces inflammation, and has demonstrated anti-cancer properties in laboratory models. The evolutionary angle is critical. Gut microbiome diversity has collapsed in modern humans compared to our hunter-gatherer ancestors, partly because of diet, but also because of inactivity. The twist? Improving your microbiome through walking may directly alter your mood, anxiety levels, and cognitive clarity. Every time you eat, your pancreas releases insulin, a hormone whose job is to escort glucose from your bloodstream into your cells. In modern sedentary life, cells become progressively resistant to insulin's signal. Glucose builds up in the blood. The pancreas works harder. Over years, this dysfunction escalates into type 2 diabetes. Walking interrupts this cascade with remarkable efficiency. Skeletal muscle, which makes up roughly 40% of your body mass, possesses a completely separate glucose uptake mechanism that operates independently of insulin during physical activity. The transporter protein GLUT4 migrates to muscle cell surfaces during movement, absorbing glucose directly without requiring insulin at all. This was a critical evolutionary adaptation. Our ancestors could not wait for insulin during a hunt. The body needed immediate fuel access. The twist that surprises most physicians. Even a 15-minute walk after meals reduces post-meal. Blood glucose spikes by up to 30%, equivalent to some pharmaceutical interventions. Chronic low-grade inflammation is now considered the common root of cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, and depression. It is largely silent. It produces no pain. Most people carry it for decades without knowing. When you walk daily, your skeletal muscles do something extraordinary. They behave like an endocrine organ, secreting anti-inflammatory proteins called myokines directly into your bloodstream. Interleukin-6, released abundantly during sustained walking, triggers a cascade that suppresses tumor necrosis factor and other inflammatory markers. This is the body's built-in anti-inflammatory pharmacy, and it only opens when you move. If what you have learned today has made you see your body differently, if you understand now that every walk is a biological event, not just a physical one, then True Body Science is exactly where you belong. Subscribe right now. Every week, Dr. Ryan Cross brings you the peer-reviewed truth that changes how you live. You are not born to sit still. Every system inside you, your brain, your heart, your immune defenses, your cellular aging mechanisms, your metabolism, your gut, your stress chemistry, every single one was engineered across millions of years of human movement. They are waiting for you right now. Not with judgment, not with impatience, simply waiting, the way a river waits for rain. The remarkable truth is that you do not need to run a marathon. You do not need a gym membership. The oldest medicine on earth is a walk. It is free, it is yours, and it works in ways that most people will never know, because nobody told them. Now you know. This is True Body Science. If you want to keep discovering the hidden biology inside your own body, the science that changes how you understand yourself, subscribe to True Body Science. Dr. Ryan Cross will be here every week with the truth. Your body has been trying to tell you.